I'd say 5 years of my life, 5 or 6 years, I was actually scared of dogs.
Sometimes the universe is a little too difficult on us. You feel you won't make it, and that there is no hope left at all. But one must keep rolling, because life becomes a little easier when you have someone to share the load with. And when you least expect it, the rains will go away, and it will all be sunny. Like a story of the summer? Welcome to Alive and Kicking with Rahul Bamne. New episodes every Friday. Welcome, Sagun. Welcome to Alive and Kicking. It's a podcast where we talk about opinions, stories, and perspectives. This is not so surprisingly, the last episode of Alive and Kicking. And I thought of getting you on the podcast because I've been following you since about 3-4 months, and you do a great job at what you do. And I was very hesitant, when I socha like I'll DM you saying, hey, I have this podcast, would you be interested to join? And I was like, why would he do that? Like, he has so many things to do in the world. But you said a yes, and you were so kind. Like you instantly said a yes, and that has been the greatest yes of all time, at least for Alive and Kicking. So thank you so much for doing that. Before I begin, I'm going to introduce you to everybody who's watching. Sagun is a third-year vet student at Bombay Veterinary. Final year student. Fourth year. I'm sorry. Yeah. So because we have like a 3-year degree, which is anyway. So you're a fourth year final year student at and you. Is it fair to say you're soon going to be like Dr. Sagun Bajjiwale?
Year, hopefully. If I pass my final exams,
No, you will. Obviously, you will. And as you have mentioned on your profile, you are the founder for Nature's Alley Foundation. Yeah. You are the secretary for Peternal, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And there's something also called as Indie Vets. You're also
Indie Vets,
So you're like a part of a lot of things at the same time. Like, okay, so you're like a multitasker and you're into a lot of things. What I did was, I'll tell you something interesting. I went today before the episode, I went on Google and I wrote your name.
Oh my.
And the first page had like a couple of articles written on you. So I'm going to list them. There is something called as World Animal Boys. There is something called as The Better Home, SBS Hindi, which is like a Hindi radio article, Marley's Mutts, and you're also on the Quint. So you're on all these. There's an article written on you. You're real. You're legit.
It's all because of the good work we do. Basically, it's not me, but the work that we love to portray, to the world.
I'm so glad you're so humble, and you've actually done a lot. Okay, and let me tell everyone, Sagun is younger than me. I don't know if he's turning 21 soon or no, 22 or 21, but 21. You're 21 right now.
I'm 21.
And you're born in what, 1999?
1998.
Then, so you're supposed to be
basically November, so almost there.
Yeah, but you're still 21. You're still in the 21 game, and you're doing a lot of things. We are going to call this episode More Than Us, Sagun, because that's what you are. That's you're more than yourself. You're more than what you do, what your life is. You feel like giving so much more to the world in your own very way. And this is exactly what Alive and Kicking is about. It's about people who do that. It's about people who have a story to share. So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Don't worry, Sagun. I remember you asking me, what are we going to talk for 1 hour? But I talk, a lot. So if you get tired of it, you can just say, Rahul, I'm tired.
I don't think that'll happen. But yeah.
I have to ask you, how did you start this entire process? Where did it begin? I heard SBS, and it mentioned that you always had love for animals. You've also spoken about Naman in part of your message. and how he's been
Mm-hmm.
such a integral part of your life.
Yeah.
And so how did you begin, and what makes you get up every single day and go do your job?
So like basically, ever since I was a kid, I used to, initially most people won't believe it, but like for like I'd say 5 years of my life, 5 or 6 years, I was actually scared of dogs, which is pretty unimaginable considering where I'm now. But eventually, after that, I started gradually opening up. Then I adopted this Labrador called Naman, who really then shot up my love for animals, and got me into what I am now. So basically, and after that, but I still remember, ever since I was a kid, I was taking a walk down the streets with my mom, and I could see this farmer guy on the road with his two bullocks, and I remember he had this whip in his hand and he was hitting them again and again because they were not ready to walk. And at that moment, I almost cried. So I don't know what got me, but yeah, I was I think 3 at the time. So I think I've pretty sensitive for animal rights in that young age. But yeah, I mean, and now though, I mean, considering where I am in vet school and all, I think it all worked out fine.
Yeah, when did it hit, like, when did the realization come that I want to be a vet?
Vet, oh, I love the story. So basically, when I was in 10th standard, a lot of people were like, Dr. Banna, MBBS, or like engineer, or all sorts of that. But so like, I mean, while in 10th, like 11th, 11th junior college, basically, I used to like feed and try and treat animals on the road because like whenever I used to take a walk or like go on my feeding rounds at night, I used to like I had found this mother dog who had given birth to her 7 puppies, and then she didn't let me near her. I was wondering why because I used to always feed her. Then when I looked down at her leg, she had all a huge maggot wound, and her almost half of her leg was eaten up. So, and that time I was hardly in 11th standard, so I didn't know what to do. So I then tried and called up NGOs, this that ki internet pe gaya, like NGOs in Bombay. I tried and called up everyone, but sadly no one, hardly no, not a single person picked up. I was frantically thinking, abhi kya karu, and thankfully someone, I guess after like probably 50, 60 calls, someone picked up and they said we'll come tomorrow. And the next day they came, it was still worse, almost full of her leg was eaten up. And then they treated her and all. And I was just wondering, why am I dependent on these people? I should be able to do it myself. So, and then gradually I started, charting out courses, what I can do, how I can, not be dependent on other people to save lives for me, but basically save lives myself. And yeah, that's how I
That's how it
really
started.
got into
So
med
were
school.
you were
Yeah,
you like a
basically.
science student? Were you like a science student? That's why was it easy to.
Over commerce.
Okay.
Science dude, yeah, I was totally. So even my, I mean, pretty much my entire family, like my mom, dad,
I know.
brother, grandparents, everyone are full of doctors. So,
Which brings
uh,
me to the point that they, like you mentioned, they all are doctors, but they all are doctors
hmm
for humans.
yeah, all of them are even doctors.
Yeah. Also, I just when I googled in the morning, is
Hmm
someone named Mohinish Bajjiwale related to you?
yeah, that's my dad. That's my
That's your
dad.
dad. He's
Yeah.
yeah. When I googled your surname, he was the closest like
Uh,
doctor, and he's a human doctor, right? Like
yeah. He's a neurosurgeon, human neurosurgeon.
he's a
Yeah.
neurosurgeon. So how was it? Was it like a very unique and distinguished choice where everybody in your house chose to treat people, and you were like,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna no, I'm gonna go and treat animals and not people. How
Yeah,
was
there definitely was some sort of pressure. I mean, not directly. No one said, ki, you have to become a human doctor as such. But then even my brother, he's like 6 years older to me, and he was in KM. He did neurosurgery as well, like my dad. And then all eyes were like pointed at me, ki, Abhi, what is this guy gonna do? And for a while, I actually thought, ki, kya karo yaar? Everyone looking at me and all. But I really didn't, deep down, I really didn't want to go for human medicine because after seeing everything, for animals and the need that's there for animals, I really, I wanted veterinary rights since, probably in the 11th or 12th grade. And I still distinctly remember ki, in all these coaching classes and all, ki, for majorly all of them are for MBBS and all. So all the students over there used to be like, MBBS करना है, ये करना है कि, कैसे भी करके MBBS. And I remember being the odd man out of like 100 people. So yeah.
You stood out. You certainly do, which is why you're on the podcast. but yeah, and I think I'm glad you took that decision. Yeah, life is different. I would be wondering if you were a human doctor, and things would be so different for you now.
I know, true. But I obviously, that's one decision that I've totally taken right in my life, and yeah, it's probably formed my life.
Yeah. So is it like everybody is a doctor and they all go to their clinics and they all work in your house, and then everybody just comes home at 8, 9 and you catch up saying, how was the day? Is that how it works?
Pretty much. I mean, when I was a kid, like all that we used to talk over the dinner table, at least not me because I used to not understand any of it. But my mom, dad, my brother used to always be like, yeah, this surgery, iska brain kata, iska ye kiya, iska heart ka kiya, and now like, yeah, good.
So now you have a different story to tell on the dining table.
Yeah, totally. And to be honest, they really enjoy my stories because it's sort of different and yeah, it's really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm guessing you're like reminiscing the days where they were telling you about heart and brain surgeries, and now you're telling them I saved like a caterpillar today, or like a dog today, a cat today.
Definitely.
But
totally.
But that's yeah. I mean, it's a good. I think it's an amazing choice to make. I can imagine you coming back and telling them, how your day was. I think you don't even have to tell them. It's pretty much evident on Instagram. But how does this process work? Like, are you still at the stage where you're expecting donations? Are you trying to put your own money in it? Will you, as in, how do you manage this? Like, when it comes to funds?
See, like funds are like obviously the biggest hurdle when it comes to any organization. So because everything you want to do, you need funds. Be it like feeding, operation karna hai kiska, or like any treatment or anything. First point is you need funds. And for me, like being a 21-year-old, I really don't have like my practice, and also for me, like the donations is like the main source of funds what we have. Like whatever people give, be it like 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, jo bhi dete hai. But yeah, collectively it really helps us. So yeah, doing what we do. And I mentioned about Peternal, which is our pet sitting company. So whatever funds we get from that, like the the revenue, we then allocate it to the
Nature's Ally.
NGO, Nature's Ally.
Nature's Ally. I remember this when I was in like 11th or 12th grade, and so I was in Wilson. I was in Wilson, Charni Road. And we used to walk every day till the Charni Road station to get a train. And on this way, we had like I think 2 dogs, regular dogs, okay, which were around all the time, and they would just come jumping at us and stuff. And that one day when I was walking, the dog came in, and then I was petting the dog, and I happened to see like a maggot that you mentioned, a maggot around his or her neck. I don't remember vividly, but I felt super obliged, or that I should do something about it, and I had no idea how to work this. But I just remember that was the first time I actually saw what a maggot is, and then I took the courage to just pull it out of its skin and throw it, and I remember just stamping it, and a lot of blood came out. So this is a graphic warning to anyone who is not comfortable with all of this, but just saying, that that was the first time I actually came across this. So but I'm guessing you do this every single day. How does it work for you? So
no, I'll just correct you there if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Maggots, I think what you're talking about is ticks, because ticks.
Yeah, ticks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, ticks. Yeah, so, it's like a gray thingy.
They live on blood, so they're hemoparasites. Yeah.
Wow, thanks.
Maggots are basically these. So maggots are like basically the larvae of flies. So whenever there's suppose an open wound and flies go and sit on that, they lay eggs, and from those eggs, like whitish worm kind of thing comes, and they actually feed on flesh. So if you see a maggot wound, that's pretty bad, and it needs to be treated urgently.
Yeah, so I think it was a tick, but also like that was also a big deal for me कि ये कैसे निकालूं, because I have no idea. Yeah. And like you mentioned, we should usually have gloves and stuff on, but वहाँ पे तो कुछ इतना सोचा नहीं था, so it was just like a random move. But do you do this every day? I'm guessing you just go meet a dog, you see, oh, they have a tick. And do you just like go removing them, or do you let it be?
Uh, so the thing with ticks is like, first of all, there's a way of removing them. If you just directly go and pull them out, so what they do is like they bite and then they hold on to the skin. So if you like twist them and take them out, then their mouth parts also come out. Otherwise, if you just pull them out many a times, the mouth parts still are in the skin.
Animal accidents are very prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
Drivers who just go off them, and they don't come back to save them. Or now I know an NGO. I don't know. I think it's Motopause or something, which now started putting like these light reflecting badge. What do you say? Yeah,
Collars.
collars on them, and now you can actually see them walking if it's a dark street. So how much do you know about like animal accidents? How do they occur, and like have you been part of taking care of some of them as of now?
So like accident cases, so like we deal almost if not on a daily basis, but the thing with accident cases is like, many of them come in such horrible conditions, with fractures and horrible blood loss and all. But your job is like to do your best. So, and the thing is, it's really sad is like, it's not the many a times, almost 90% of times, I'd say, it's not the driver who's coming back, Arey mere galti ho gayi, I hit the dog, he's picking it up and getting him. It's like, other rescuers seeing the dog and all and getting him here to the NGO. It's really sad because the driver who's hit the dog will just probably drive off, like nothing is happening.
Yeah,
So, it's pretty sad. But something you have to live with. Hopefully, we can at least try and spread love for animals and, even just tell them, ki, even they are true sensitive beings and it's our job to like, really look out for them. And yeah,
yeah. And
basically
I can
that.
imagine, I hate to bring this up, Sagun, but
Mm-hmm.
for you this is going to be so hurtful that nowadays you keep listening to these things like somebody's put firecrackers in food and given to like
Horrible.
infants, and I don't know, cows and stuff, and how do you digest this? Like, I don't know, is there a law? Can they be held at, I don't know,
See, the
something?
thing with laws is not like we have laws, but they are like, I'm going to be brutally honest. We have laws, but then those laws are like, which are made like probably 100 years ago, 50, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And the fee for those laws is like so low that people will just, do it and go off. So I'm literally like, it's 10 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, something like that. So if, someone really murders or hits a dog, they have to pay 100 rupees and they're free. So it's that bad, So they really need someone to like, reform those laws and, upgrade them to the day that we live in today.
So it's fair.
And
It's fair to say, Sagun, that animal rights are not even like considered in our country. Like,
sadly, not to the extent that they should. Yeah. But
is it
something
better
we have
in
to
the
work on.
West? Is it better in the West? Is it better in some other country who's actually taking care?
Totally. Like at least when it comes to like animal rights, I think the West, like say other countries like UK, the US, and all, they are pretty big on animal rights because for them, I literally think like they really do a lot for animals, which I think for us we have to like really catch up to them. And sadly, abhi tak for us, animal medicine is also still picking up because as like India is a developing country, we still have a long way to go. But I feel like all work together, there is hope that we'll get there one day soon.
Sagun, we are going to talk about healthcare, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and you were telling me on the call that there's not a single dialysis machine in Mumbai for animals, but there are so many getting availed for free for humans. There is no proper care. There could be clinics everywhere, but there is no there's not a hospital that I have come across at least where animals are taken, they are treated, they are handled with utmost care. What is your idea on this? Do you see us doing this more now, or are we still going to be like, what, animals are not important?
So like my dream, I mean, hopefully in the coming years will be to have like an amazing animal hospital and an animal ambulance that will provide, like top care, even for stray animals completely free, but they should be treated the same way, like probably a breed dog or like a very good loving pet dog is treated. It should not be like, हाँ, it's stray dog है तो फिर जाने दो अपन को कुछ करना नहीं है. So it's, because after all, they are also exact same lives as your pet animals. It's not like just because they don't have a family, is that we can treat them, in a mediocre way. So really, and it's really sad because the amount of animals that they are, and there's so much need, but I really don't see those many, NGOs and all really helping out. And otherwise, would show results at least for now. And the thing is कि इतना need है ना, this horrible amount of need, and so many animals and all coming in. But there's a thing that, and obviously like stray animals and all, the rescuers and the feeders and all who get them, they can't afford to go to like say a private setup and all and pay like thousands and thousands. So there's something we should have, which treats them also amazingly well and really reaches out to all these animals, who can't pay and say get these feeders to pay for them, and have them in various locations. So like even if we probably have one or two good NGOs in Bombay, but like suppose people like in Virar, they can't come all the way to like Parel or something to like get them treated. So like having more and more of such
Yeah.
good setups will really help us make a difference.
Sabun, where do you see yourself from now? I don't know. It's a weird question to ask. It's not a counseling center. But where do you see
Yeah,
yourself 5 to 10 years down the line? Do you see yourself helping more animals, traveling the world?
yeah.
Do you see yourself making a progress in India? Uh, what is?
Uh, for me, like I was planning to go abroad, to learn, probably start a clinic there and all. But then after I saw the need here, and I was like, I'm an Indian, so you have to really bring up India and what it stands for. So I'm really, I think in 5 or 10 years, I mean, I don't really have it planned, but I'll probably still, be doing my best and trying to like make the world a better place for animals and trying to probably educate people, get out, seek more animals to help and more people to convince them to help animals. And yeah, if I get time, probably work a lot on animal assisted therapy, which is like one of my top priorities for now because a lot of people have this misconception, ki even old people and young people, and for me, if you catch them young, especially children. So I absolutely love when you introduce like a dog or a cat or like any pet for that matter to like a young child. So because their expression and all when they actually touch the dog and all is something you can't buy. So it's really nice and that, and then probably work on my NGO and really try and have like an amazing hospital in the future where all animals are treated equal. Whether you pay like you're a really good looking dog or like you're a stray animal, everything should be that level of premium care that human beings are offered now.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad to know that we discriminate in terms of dogs. Some who look good,
Hmm.
some who don't look good, some we
Hmm.
call cute. How
Uh-huh.
how can we help? Tell us a little bit about Nature's Ally, and how can we help? How can we contribute to your NGO? Uh, and
Uh-huh.
what work are you doing? Yeah.
So basically, like Nature's Ally is like a NGO that me and a few of my veg students started, and it's really something like we are not going to like we are really trying our best to like reach out to most of the animals that are out there and use our knowledge for good. Because even in the vet community, like having feelings is really important. So if you don't have feelings, you're not going to do anything for the animal. You're not going to make sacrifices to save that animal. So we at Nisazalai really try to do our best and making, even changing the mental health because all of these animals that are abandoned and all, they're pretty much mentally traumatized. They have no love and anything. So really reaching out to these animals, treating them mentally and physically and finding them homes and, not just animals like nature, basically all of its children. So trees, birds, and especially even trees. So back in I think a year or two ago with the RA forest being cut down. So that really affected us and all. And then we conducted a tree plantation at our own college. Initially, people laughed at us and all, कि क्या झाड़ वाड़ लगा रहे हो and all. And but then we ended up planting over 150 large trees. And even all the professors and everyone got together, and
So
we're actually digging the ground and planting trees. So yeah, probably we'll have a lot more of that. As to contribution, we are going to have a lot of camps in the upcoming days, hopefully when this COVID situation gets better. And people who actually want to actively volunteer, they can contact us on our Instagram or on our Facebook page or anywhere. You can WhatsApp me as well. And for like help, which from here from home, you can actually, even whatever you want, you can donate. Like be it like what dog food, like anything you can want to spare, be it money, anything. But whatever you spare will help us in our venture.
I'm going to try to do that, Sagun, because that's what our plan is. We are trying to collect some funds for you and your NGO.
Haha.
I don't know. Now that you told me you can have other things also, I'm going to ask ask people openly about contributing dog food or any sort of other toys that they think we can give on to you. And I am somehow going to manage to get all of this to you in the
Oh,
most
definitely.
early way possible. But thank you so much, otherwise, Sagun, for taking out this 1 hour of your life. I know you're
Arey,
super
nahi.
busy.
Thanks for having me.
No, I know you're
No,
super
no,
busy.
no.
You do a lot of things. You take a lot of care of other people, and I'm so blessed to have met someone like you. I hope to keep in
Nahi,
touch
nahi,
with you henceforth somehow. I don't know,
Definitely, definitely.
wherever you are in life, wherever I am in life. But
Hmm.
otherwise, you've just been a great blessing, and it is a pleasure to close this podcast
Arey.
with you and your episode. I'm going to
Thank you,
ask
thank
people
you.
to just share this video for everyone, so that you
Hmm.
reach to more people can see you, and
And it's just one message I want to like give off before closing. Ki it's you should not be afraid of doing anything. So, even if you're the only person who is like helping an animal, you should never be afraid ki what other people will think. कि अरे क्या सोचेंगे मैं अकेला जा रहा हूँ रास्ते पे ना. So you really an act of selfless love is gonna take you far away. So yeah, that's basically what I want to say. Ki don't be ever be afraid of doing anything good in life, even if you're the only person that's doing it. Yeah.
thank you so much, Sakun. Don't make us cry.
Hey, you can listen to the whole podcast on Spotify. Just click on the link in the bio.